So I wanted to start my day off and show you guys kind of what I do with my normal day. I'm going to start off with that Day Hydrating Cream by Younique. This stuff is amazing. The smell to it is just phenomenal and really wakes you up in the morning. I like to hydrate before I even put on my primer and make sure I get in around my eyes because throughout the day you get wear and tear from sun and different elements throughout the day. So yeah, yikes. So next I'm going to be putting on the Glorious Primer by Younique. This stuff is phenomenal, and primer is really important. If you're not using it, you should, just because this helps set a base for your makeup that you're going to be using. It's going to help it last longer throughout the day. It's also going to help it have a better coverage and a better blend, is what I've seen anyways. And I always make sure to get around my eyes, especially if I'm going to be using eyeshadow, and it's a huge help. Once I make sure that's on, that's dry, then I'm going to go to my liquid foundation. This is the Liquid Touch by Younique. I use the color Organza. You got to shake it up. And there's a dropper on the inside, which helps you not use too much. You have just enough. And the way that I use my liquid foundation brush, and I just do 4 drops, depending on what kind of coverage I need, and dot it, blot it, whatever you want to call it. Put it around your face, and then you start to blend. And with the blending motions, I try and go in smooth circles to get a good even coverage on everything, and make sure to get into the creases, everywhere else, to get a good coverage. And I go down slightly on my neck, but this color matches very well, so I don't have to do too much of that. And I just continue blend. It will be your best friend. So, and my nose, oh, I hate blending on my nose, just because I'm very porous. That's why it's really important for me to use primer previous to where I get a good, I don't look so pory once I'm done. I always make sure everything's blended, do any touch-ups I need to. So now I'm starting with a good even skin tone, which I love to pieces. This morning I actually used a stick, a wand if you want to call it, to apply my Younique liquid foundation, or excuse me, concealer. I go with a lighter color just because it helps highlight, and I love using blending buds, especially damp blending buds. It helps blend so well. I have fallen in love with this. Please try it if you have not. It's phenomenal. And you always want to make sure you get right up below your eye, best you can. And I do it in a upside down triangle underneath both my eyes and extend it out to my temples. Any kind of excess I put in my other highlight areas, which you can see, my nose, my chin, my upper lip. And the next step of what we're going to do is the Beachfront Body Bronzer. I use the color Hermosa. And I always flatten my brush out and start just above my ear on the back of my cheekbone and extend forward and blend like crazy. It always depends on how far down you want to go. Normally I try to go to the middle or the outer edge of my eye, just for my normal day-to-day wear, and blend like crazy, because I don't want it to be too harsh of a line if I'm just going to work. I'm not trying to glam it up too much, so the blending is very important here, and I always try and keep it in the same strokes, angling just like that. And then I'll frame my forehead, just the top, just to try and bring more focus down, because I do have a large forehead. And then I'm framing my jawline just to add a little bit more of a chiseled look, a more defined look, because I do have some chunky cheeks. So, and then I'm actually going to frame my nose as well, contour that, because I have a chunky little nose, and then I blend as much as possible. What you see here is me noticing my son is getting out of bed and saying good morning. He's such a stinker. And then I'm going to use an illuminator that I found And I put that directly onto the cheekbone and just under the eye and extend it back towards my temple again. Do the bridge of my nose. And I always do a little bit on my forehead as well. And each side adding our highlighter. And I extend down to my chin. And I always pat out my brush. And I'm going to go in with the Bare Minerals Younique blusher. This color actually looks brown, but it's more of a pinkish hue. It's the color Sweet. And what you're going to do is you place it in between the highlighter and your contour and blend it together. It adds more of a dramatic look. Now what you're seeing is me looking for my eyebrow pencil, which was allegedly missing. And then poof, there it is. Younique offers 3 different colors. I use the medium, and it's awesome because it extends out. It's like a gel almost. We also have the gel, the brow gel, which has little fibers in it, similar to the 3D mascara. My brows this morning, I was very happy with how they came out. I didn't try and add too much anywhere, and I tried to extend more towards the middle, as you'll see here shortly. The main focus whenever you're doing your brows is you want to definitely do a darker on the ends, and not do too much during this in the middle of the center, because whenever you do that, it's less of a natural look, which either way it's not natural, but it just doesn't look as weird, almost like you put Sharpie on if you do too bold of a color. So what you'll see me do at the center in the middle, at the front of my eyebrow, is I'm actually going to be penciling in like my own little hairs to where it's more of a natural look at the front, and the back can be a little bit more bold. Definitely blending in to where the little spaces that I have, I can kind of add together, and poof, those are some brows. Which I think whenever you do your brows that dramatic, that dark, it's kind of strange if you don't do your eyes. So we're going to use our angled brush that has a sponge on the other end. For this one, I'm only going to use the angled side, using palette number 4. It's Younique's one of their newer palettes. We have palette number 4 and 5. 4 includes like the browns, the blues, which is something new for them. I'm going to do a slight smoky eye, and I start off with a lighter color. It's a good base on top of the primer you have on your eye, to be able to blend out whatever kind of colors that you're wanting to use. I always pick 3 normally. I have a lighter color, a medium color, and a dark color. Always put my lighter color on top first to get a good base coat to where I can blend better. What I'm applying here is a nude matte color. It's very, very similar to skin color, so it's going to help my eyebrows pop and get a good definition between my eyeshadow and my brows. And now, of course, my medium color, I'm blending out, just starting the shadowy part of my smoky eye. And blend, blend, blend. You'll see me wipe it off on the back of my hand to get any kind of excess off, so I can continue to blend and not have any contamination from other colors. And then I'm going to go just a little bit on the underside of my eye with the medium brown color, just to add a little bit more definition to my eyeshadow and make my eyes pop. So I'm taking the darkest color, it's got a little bit of a shimmer to it, and just barely putting any on the ends of my eyes, and then blending like crazy. As you can see, I keep looking at the clock because I realized I was about to start running late for work. So I'm putting a base coat of mascara on. I always put a base coat on before I do my real lashes. And what I mean by that is, of course, the Younique 3D lashes. If you have not tried them, give them a try. Seriously, they're, oh, I love them, love them. If I ever have any special events, or because normally I don't do my 3D throughout the week for work, but whenever I'm getting froggy, that's what's gonna happen. First thing you put on is your transplant gel. This is gonna help adhere your fibers to your lashes. It's also gonna add length. The color is black, so definitely put a ton on. And then we're gonna put our fibers on. I didn't go over the top today because I realized I was running late, so, and I always do one eye at a time. And then we're gonna put on our second coat of transplant gel and move on to the second eye. Once again, first step, applying the transplant gel, making sure that you get your lashes separated and really getting that volume in there. And you're gonna add your fibers. You might get some flaked on your face, blow it off. You got this. Then we're gonna seal them in with the last coat of transplant gel. And just for today's look, I did not do my under lashes, and I was excited. This was my day. So I'm also at the end, I added the Sappy lip stain color. I'm a huge fan of Sappy and Sleek. They're seriously some of my favorites. I love it because it's no reapplication throughout the day. It's just there. It's not going to smudge, and you look great. Thanks for joining me. Bye.